Chris, and this is my Volkswagen Beetle gas gauge part 2 video. I never try to show off on this channel, and I never try to act like I know everything, because I don't. I've only been into these cars for 3 months. YouTube is broadcast yourself. That's all I do. I happen to film what I'm working on, and I try to help you guys and girls out so you don't have to go through all the freaking headaches that I do. I'm also going to be trying to cover as much information that was left out of part 1. So this came out of my parts Beetle. It's a 74, 75. If you have an original fuel gauge, hold on to it, keep it. So let's start this video off by what a proper fuel gauge should look like. This was original to the car, the original sending unit. I just took it out, cleaned it up, cleaned all the grounds. We have a little bit of gas in there. So if you're in the R, that is your reserve fuel. That means you need to get to a gas station immediately. So obviously we're low on fuel, but you see it working. So we have a 12-volt test battery in the back. This came off of my 74, 75 Beetle parts car. It's the same as the one in my 72. This is the factory wire that goes to the sending unit. My 72 and this 74.5 have this exact same resistor on here. It's screwed to the gauge housing, and this is grounded. So this has to be grounded as well. So if this is not grounded, your gas gauge is not going to work right. It's a very delicate special screw. Take care of it. Okay, so that piece pulls out. Most likely there are some resistors in there. So if you know where to buy these, please put it in the comments. But this is a very special part, and if you have it, good for you. And if you have your factory gauge that is in pretty good condition, good for you. Keep this stuff. This one works 100%. So I went ahead and bought this vibrator stabilizer. It is not the same thing. I opened it up and it has some resistors in it too. So we're not going to pop it all the way open, but it has a visible resistor in there, and it is soldered right there to the ground. Once again, these are not the same thing, and they do not have the same amount of resistance, but they do go in place of each other. You can clearly see how that can be screwed down, and this one has to be grounded as well. So if you have 2 meters, get 2 meters out. So this factory piece was 1 ohm on my 72 Beetle, and it is 1 ohm on this 74.5 Beetle. 1.0 ohms for 6877 Beetle. Sorry about you guys and girls with earlier years. I don't have an earlier one. Stabilizer vibrator, 28 ohms. Okay, so that's quite the difference. This is the factory wire. We need to make sure this is not a resisted wire. Check it with the diode. Okay, no resistance, good. So it's just a regular wire. Next, we check the resistance on the factory fuel gauge. 12.7, 13, good. So now, the aftermarket fuel gauges. So number 1, do not try to calibrate this gauge. You can do it if you want to. I did calibrate this one, and was it really worth it now? I know what I know. No, it was not. So the problem with these aftermarket fuel gauges is that they have way too much resistance. 13 ohms, and on the brand new gauge, 28 ohms. They're both like that. So more than double the resistance. What is the point of that? What does that mean? You always double, triple, quadruple check this kind of stuff. On the other meter, we have 28 ohms. So you see the importance of this video. See these different numbers we have here? It doesn't really make any sense. So here is an aftermarket fuel sending unit. This is just some random cheap one off of eBay. They say 10 to 70. You clearly see 1 when it's full and 109 when it's empty. So do not worry about that 10 through 70. That doesn't affect anything. That just tells you that this is a universal little resistor that they use on a lot of cars. GM fuel gauges probably use the same little piece in there. Their range is 0 to 90 ohms. There are these tangs right here that in a perfect world, you would just bend it in to get that 10 through 70 if for some reason you had to have that on a special older gauge. So hopefully you have a good factory gauge. Hopefully you have this piece. If you don't have this piece works the same. So the good news is that even the super cheap $16, $17 sending unit works perfect. So this is the wire. It goes on this side and straight to the prong on the sending unit. So first let's demonstrate that both of these do the same thing. We already know it's going to work with that one. The only thing that gets 12 volts is this vibrator or resistor piece, straight right there. And then this goes straight on the gauge and the screw right there. Since we don't have the screw or this grounded, we have to ground it to the negative side of the battery with this. I know it's red, don't hate me. So then the other thing that's grounded is the sending unit. So vibrator, sending unit are grounded over here back to the battery. You go and hook it up. So the first thing you want to do is you want to clock your full. So go ahead and raise that up. So regardless of the resistance you're getting, you want to bend that tang, or you want to make it stop before it pegs that gauge out. You don't want that gauge to be going all up in there like that. Let's get it fine-tuned. So what I'm showing you right here is the procedure. You're going to bench test this, make sure it works before you go put it on your car. So you end up like me with a gas gauge that works perfect. It can go a little past. So this situation with factory gauge, aftermarket vibrator stabilizer, and brand new sending unit, this is why we're tuning it. We would go ahead and bend that tang so we know we're not going to peg our gauge out. So now we're going to put this factory 1 ohm resistance and see if anything changes. It should be the same. So the extra voltage is lost as heat, so this thing will heat up a little bit. But what this is doing, it's taking the heat off of your actual gauge. So that's a good thing. Comes in right here. Hot. It's grounded as well. Remember, this one was full about right there. Let's see where this one goes. So the stabilizer and that resistor, these are going to do exactly the same thing. The gauge is identical. So once I started messing with these, I realized that's halfway, but it's not going to read halfway on the gauge. And both of these test the same. This is why you need to test this on the bench and see it with your own eyes. We're at 50%. You can see the little window on the sending unit and see where we are on the gauge. So if we go all the way down, if you were in this situation, what would you do? I would bend this tang up just a little bit. So now that we've bent that tang, let's see where it settles. The gas tanks are shaped kind of smaller and weird at the bottom, but you see 50% on that sending unit in lower is gonna read weird on your gauge. That's why you need to take this out, play with it, and familiarize yourself. And just remember that right there is the top of the gas tank. So there's no reason for that float to be going past this level. So factory gauge, either one of these resistor pieces, aftermarket sender, you're good. You can make this work 100%. So this is the 28 ohm resistance, and this is where people are only getting a quarter to half a tank, and we are clearly full on the sending unit. Okay, and there you go. So there is some information out there saying that these gauges are not calibrated from the factory and you need to calibrate them. That's not true. So we have that tang with a little more adjustment on there. Let's see if that's going to help anything. We'll give it more room to move. It's working. Now we have no more room left to tweak that, so that's as full as we're going to go. So then we just check empty one more time. All right. So using the resistor that only had 1 ohm of resistance, this works with the 28 ohm resisted new fuel gauge, new sending unit. This works totally. Now we're going to try it with the vibrator stabilizer. So on these resisted parts, you can't have anything loose. That is going to create resistance itself. Everything must be tight. Our main concern with the new fuel gauge is full. So a quarter, half a tank, that's where people are saying their gauge isn't going past. We're working. What's going on? All right, so you can see clearly that this aftermarket gauge is working perfect. Now, why are people saying that their new gauge isn't going this high and reading correct? So let's just say you're one of those people that questions everything, and you're saying, well, you switched the gauge. That ain't the original one. Let's just show it real quick. No smoke and mirrors on my videos. This is the brand new aftermarket gauge. So once again, what did I do? You saw me wire brush all the terminals. You saw me put a very, very good ground on this. You saw me squish those little things so that everything fits tight. So that's why I'm making this video, because when I first bought the aftermarket gauge, mine would only go up to a quarter tank. So first of all, we're stopping this video so I can introduce you to my pet rat that I found. We are working out of the step van. Let's see if he or she is in here. Look. Come here, little baby. One of my cats was trying to kill it. Here, get some water. Get some water. Look at this little baby. I don't know if it's a rat or mouse. I don't know anything about these things. But, see, I'm giving it bread and water. And this is my ex-Snap-on truck. And you can see it can come out there, jump down there, and leave if it wants to. Light is just to keep it warm. I don't know anything about mice or rats. I don't know. First time. Stopping this video because while I was editing, I figured it out. So when I first got my beetle, I bought a new gauge for it. And the reason it was only reading a quarter or half a tank was because the factory sending unit only reads 10 to 70 ohms. So the factor or thing that changed was this aftermarket sending unit that was clearly 1 to 110 ohms. And by adjusting the tangs, you can dial in the aftermarket gauge at 28 ohms. So that's how come people are having so many problems, because they're buying an aftermarket gauge and they're trying to use it on their factory sending unit. The aftermarket sending unit is a universal sending unit. That's how come in my first video, we only got it to reach a quarter a tank. And in this video, we got it to reach full. So does that make sense that we cleaned all the connections off really good? Because if you have extra resistance on a part that's measuring resistance, would that make sense that it's only reading a quarter or half a tank, because that extra resistance through the connections is being lost and throwing your signal off? But I really think aftermarket gauge needs an aftermarket sending unit. There you go. So like I said in the beginning, I don't know everything about this, but we just demonstrated it and it worked 100%. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.